What's up everybody, my name is Alex Yu and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review, and I just got back from watching Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol, and here is my full-on review. It's still fresh in my mind, and I just want to say that this is the best Mission Impossible movie out there. There's 4 of them out there. I thought that the first one was really confusing. That's why it made so much money, because you had to watch it again and again and again just to understand it, because nobody got it. The second one, it was a full-on John Woo slugfest. It had a lot of slow motion. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but it wasn't really a Mission Impossible movie just because it was more Tom Cruise's show, and it was John Woo's version of Mission Impossible. And it's very different from what Mission Impossible is really about. The third one I thought was the best. J.J. Abrams brought his own brand of storytelling to it. At the time, I thought it was the best, but now we have Brad Bird directing, J.J. Abrams producing, and I have to say that Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is the best. And let me tell you why. First of all, you gotta watch this movie in IMAX. There is quite a few sequences. All the main action set pieces are filmed in the IMAX format, and it looks great. It looks so grand, and it makes you feel like you're in the movie, because the picture quality is not only crystal clear, but the picture is so big that you just feel like you're there. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, is that you gotta watch it in the IMAX screen. The story is really about nuclear war, and the IMF team is framed. They gotta find a way out of this mess because they have been disavowed and they don't even exist. So in order for them to clean up their name, they have to do it on their own. You got Jeremy Renner, Paula Patton, Simon Pegg, and of course Tom Cruise playing IMF agents. And I think the great thing about this movie is that your characters are all pretty much equal. You have Ethan Hunt, he's the main guy of the show and he will run the show, but all the other supporting characters like Brandt and Agent Jane Cotter and Benji, they all have their roles as well. They're no longer secondary. They are essential to the team. Without them, Ethan Hunt will not work well on his own. And that's what's so great about this one, because it really shows what Mission Impossible is all about, and that is a team effort. There are a lot of sequences where you see Ethan Hunt doing something, maybe he's in a fight, but at the same time it intercuts between the other characters. It really shows that Ethan Hunt cannot get one thing done without the help of his buddies doing their own thing at the same time, whether it's trying to get launch codes or trying to turn off the power to something, or just telling them about coordinates. It's really great in that department, because that was one of the things that was lacking in, of course, Mission Impossible 2, and even the first Mission Impossible. You kind of felt that this was more Ethan Hunt's show, so you don't have to worry about that in this one. Another thing that I thought was great was that I liked the story. I didn't think it was like spectacular, but I liked the story. When you watch movies about post-Cold War, you don't really feel connected with it because it's over. It's all over, and you feel that this is really, really fictional. But the way that Brad Bird made it happen, it made it work. I understand the main villain's motives of why he wants to launch, and that is just something that works in my opinion. One of the things I do want to mention is that the main villain is not that he's weak, but he's very mysterious. We don't know a whole lot about him, and I find that as a little bit of a flaw in the movie. It's kind of like Philip Seymour Hoffman, a very, very strong, sinister villain, but we want to see more of him. The only thing about this villain is that I understand the motives, but I don't understand any of his background or anything like that. So that is something that they could have touched up on. However, I do feel that even though they didn't touch upon it, the movie still works, because we're talking about a 2-hour, 15-minute movie, and there was perfect pacing. The perfect pacing. I didn't feel that it dragged out. And that is another thing about the movie. It's paced perfectly. There's no long scenes of slowness or anything like that. The movie just moves along, and it's just all because of great storytelling on Brad Bird's part. There's some really great direction going on. I know that his background is directing cartoons like Pixar movies, but he directs this movie like a cartoon. He doesn't let the fact that we're making a live action movie limit to where the camera goes. The movie is just, it just moves like a full-on action movie, and that's what it is that we are watching. We're watching a movie where these larger-than-life spies are going globe-trotting. They're trying to find this villain, and I think it's great that we visit these different locations, because he makes all these scenes seem so grand, not only with the IMAX cameras, but he takes us to places where we've never seen ever filmed ever, like a vertical parking lot. That sequence was amazing, and the sequence in Dubai, wow, just absolutely breathtaking. I gotta say that those little action sequences and stunts performed by Ethan Hunt, hats off to him for doing an amazing job performing his own stunts. The Dubai sequence was just brilliant. One thing about the IMAX sequences that I want to mention is that I love that the IMAX sequences do not cut in and out of IMAX format. They directed the scenes so that there's so many different smaller sequences in the larger action sequence. They don't really cut in and out of IMAX format. You know how the black bars come up in and out in Revenge of the Fallen? Well, they don't do that in Ghost Protocol. So it is really, really amazing to watch in the IMAX format. And another thing I like to mention is that I think that it's great that they introduce so many different gadgets. Mission Impossible is back with a vengeance, because they bring in all these great gadgets, and the gadgets are not just gadgets that are pointless. Like, they don't just do something small. They actually play a big role in the story, and it's so innovative, and it looks like they've researched all these different things, or they did some serious brainstorming of what kind of cool gadgets they could use to make all the sequences so interesting. As you can see, I'm really excited about this movie. Planet of the Apes has a great story, but I think something about the entire movie as a whole for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol that makes it better than Rise of the Planet of the Apes, because like I said before, I thought that Rise of the Planet of the Apes is my favorite film of 2011. Well, I'm gonna have to say that Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol tops it, and I already seen it twice. As you can see, I'm driving home from the theater, and I've already seen it second time. Loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to own this movie on Blu-ray. Highly recommended. I'm gonna have to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's really a near perfect movie. I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about this movie. I can't think of a whole lot except for a villain that we didn't know a whole lot about. But that's fine, just because the movie moved along with such ease, and every sequence was just exciting. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this movie. If you already seen this movie, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of it. My name is Alex Yu, and thank you for watching the Ragin Ronin review. Peace.